Capitalism, socialism, and communism can all be seen as part of a common scale. Pure capitalism and pure communism are at either end. We generally think of socialism as this area. We're somewhere here and heading that way. The difference between them, according to communists, is the ownership of the means of production. In capitalism, they are owned by individuals. In communism, by the state. Another way to look at the difference, however, is to consider their treatment of financial risk. Capitalism rewards it with profit, creating a dynamic, evolving economy. Communism takes away all such incentives in favor of a state-run monopoly. Capital cannot be accumulated, so no one can own anything. In this respect, capitalism has been proven to have a clear advantage because the desire for profit that it depends on creates competition, an extremely strong force that in turn drives production, investment, creativity, innovation, and so on, and in the end produces much more wealth. It's not a novel idea. Competition works well everywhere, not only the economy. We humans have evolved through millions of years of harsh, brutal competition against other species for resources and between ourselves for dominance. We wouldn't exist without it. So why communism then? Because of justice. Communism has myriads of problems, but it has the benefit of being perceived as just. And by justice, we mean equality. Competition is a very effective motivator, but it's brutal and unfair. Those born wealthy, beautiful, intelligent, healthy, and strong have a clear advantage over those who are not, and that's just a matter of luck. Even our characters, whether we're driven and ambitious, or more laid back and complacent, is mostly the result of the chemical composition of the bodies we were randomly born in. Life is not fair.
It's good to be the king.
We know it, and throughout our history, since we started taking our destiny in our hands as a species, we've been trying to fix it. And although we can't yet fix all inequalities, like intelligence, health, and so on, we do what we can, wherever we can.
It's good to be the king.
We've concocted intricate legal systems to ensure that the strong cannot take advantage of the weak, that we're all treated equally. We redistribute an ever-increasing part of our income to fend off injustice and try to help the weak and the poor. We want to be just, do away with need for competition. But we can't, not yet, not in the economy. We've tried communism and we know it has two major problems. Totalitarianism. Wherever communism was attempted, it became a totalitarian system. This is not by chance. The problem arises from the fact that the state, which owns everything, must be governed. This can only be done by a group of people, and no matter how well-intentioned, they are still people. They will inevitably cling to power and always seek to keep and increase it, especially the kind of people who are ambitious enough to become leaders. It's human nature, and it's happened every time it was tried. It also happens in capitalist countries when for some reason the state holds most of the wealth, like in oil-producing nations. The fact that the state has so much power directly distorts their democracies. Inefficiency. Wherever communism was attempted, the economy stagnated. Again, this is not by chance. Wealth is not easy to produce. You have to put in a lot of effort, thought, and hard work. Without competition and self-interest, you lose motivation, and you don't put in as much effort. You produce less, making everyone poorer. Can these problems be fixed? Maybe, in the future. We're constantly improving. If we had a governing system, for example, a state we could trust completely to be just, efficient, and effective, we could then give it full power without fearing it will abuse it. And if we invented new, easy means of production, wealth would lose its value, and everyone could share it without destroying the economy. What does all this mean? It means there's no inherent correct financial system. We do what we can, when we can. In ancient times, the rich became kings with sovereign states. They raised armies, collected taxes instead of paying them, so they could be even more powerful. They had to. If they didn't, the guy next door would come over, kill them, and take everything they had. You can't be weak and live next to someone powerful. There must always be balance. As society and technology advanced, these states became more powerful. Wars became too destructive for both sides, so new treaties were drawn. A new balance was reached. That's how nature works. Everything exists in equilibrium, in delicate balance with everything else. It's the same with the economy. Wealth is still difficult to produce, so we still need to balance it with greed, a driving force to help us create as much as we can.
$5 million! $5 million! $5 million!
But we've advanced. Wealth is not as difficult to produce as it used to be. So we can now regulate its production, reduce the rewards, increase the taxes, so we can redistribute more, improving working conditions and increasing social benefits. We mustn't overdo it though, not to the point where motivation suffers, because then it would be bad for all. A balance must always be kept. What should we do? At present, we are here. It's the point where our wishes balance out our capabilities. But we do know that we want to go that way. It's the same way we've been going for thousands of years. We're always in search of a new, better equilibrium, a sweet spot where we can all be content, maybe here somewhere, where justice is served, but competition doesn't die. The only way to do that is to push, by voting, by getting involved, by thinking and changing what needs to be changed. Before that, though, we must actually try to understand reality as it is, not as we would like it to be. We don't need any more hateful ideologies, false promises, or populism. We have a global economy now and global problems. Whatever happens affects everyone. We must realize that the earth is our common home, and we must grow up and take charge, because we're home alone.